Right now, the United States is trapped between two deadly winter systems. 153 people across North America have already lost their lives. That number could rise. According to the National Weather Service, wind chills near -30 degrees Fahrenheit are gripping the Northeast, while near-blizzard conditions hammer West Virginia and the Appalachians. 12 states from Michigan and Ohio to Massachusetts and Connecticut are in the direct impact zone. More than $4 billion in damage has already been tallied, and the most dangerous hours are still unfolding this weekend. Here is what nobody else is telling you. In the next several minutes, I am going to give you the exact timing for when conditions improve, city by city, region by region. Not general information. Exact times. When the worst hits, when it peaks, when it finally lets go. But first, you need to understand why this pattern is so different from anything we have seen in years. Quick favor before we dive in. Drop your city and state in the comments below. Let me know where you are watching from so I can give you an update on the weather in your area or share what you are experiencing so everyone can stay informed. It takes 2 seconds and helps this whole community stay connected. Here is the important part. A fast-moving Alberta clipper is sweeping from the Great Lakes into the Northeast right now. Most places are picking up 1 to 3 inches of new snow, but downwind of Lakes Erie and Ontario and along the Appalachians, heavier bands could reach 4 to 5 inches driven by strong winds. And all of this is landing on top of the destruction left by Winter Storm Fern, the deadly late January system that killed at least 153 people and caused more than 1 million power outages at its peak. What happens next could determine whether this becomes the deadliest winter stretch in decades. West Virginia. Listen carefully. This is important. Overnight, the Alberta clipper turned the higher ridges of the Appalachians into a near whiteout zone. The National Weather Service kept winter storm warnings in place as snow stacked up to around 9 inches in the worst spots, whipped by gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. On mountain highways like Interstate 68 and US 219, visibility dropped to a few hundred yards or less. Forecasters use the phrase life-threatening travel for the most exposed stretches. If you are anywhere along the mountain corridors of West Virginia, Maryland, or Western Virginia, conditions remain extremely dangerous through Sunday evening. The blowing and drifting snow is making travel very difficult to extremely dangerous. Snow squalls can suddenly drop visibility and glaze roads that looked clear just minutes before. Here is what nobody else is telling you about this region. This is not just inconvenient winter weather, these are the kinds of conditions that strand motorists, knock out power to isolated communities, and put lives at risk. The core of this storm is now sliding toward New England, but the dangerous wind chills and drifting snow will persist in the higher elevations through tomorrow morning. If you must travel through the Appalachians, your safest window is Monday afternoon at the earliest. Do not attempt mountain highway travel until conditions improve. But what is happening in New England right now demands even more attention. For people waking up in New England this morning, the danger is not just a map of warnings. In places like Albany, Bennington, and parts of coastal Massachusetts, 2 to 6 inches of fresh snow have turned side streets and driveways into slick layers of ice and slush. Along the Interstate 95 corridor through New York, Connecticut, and down toward Boston, many commuters are stepping out into wind gusts near 40 miles per hour, with air temperatures below freezing and wind chills dropping well below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Albany. Your worst conditions are happening right now through midday Sunday. Bennington, Vermont. Expect the heaviest snow bands to continue through early afternoon. Boston. Your wind gusts will peak between noon and 4 p.m. before slowly tapering off this evening. Here is the important part. The cold itself is becoming the most dangerous part of this pattern. Forecasters warned that in parts of interior New England and the higher terrain of the Northeast, wind chills near -30 degrees Fahrenheit can freeze exposed skin in a very short time. That is frostbite conditions in less than 30 minutes if you are not properly covered. Comment below right now with your city and state. I will personally give you the exact forecast for your location. Thousands of viewers are already doing this and getting critical information. Do not wait. Type your location now. Parents bundling up their kids for school, nurses heading to early shifts, Snowplow crews working back-to-back runs. Everyone is trying to stay ahead of a storm that keeps changing shape but not losing its bite. The worst is expected to slide off the coast by late Sunday evening, but do not be fooled. The cold and the wind are not going away quickly. The Great Lakes region tells a different story, but not necessarily a better one. According to the Weather Prediction Center, brief but intense snow squalls in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and the Great Lakes corridor can suddenly drop visibility and glaze roads that looked clear just minutes before. This is particularly dangerous for drivers who think the storm has passed. Here is the hour-by-hour breakdown for the Great Lakes. If you are traveling from Minneapolis and St. Paul toward Upper Michigan or Green Bay on Monday, you may run into snow showers, sleet, even freezing drizzle, which could lead to hazardous travel during the evening commute. Lower Michigan, you are looking at the chance of snow showers and sleet overnight Monday into Tuesday morning. But here is where the pattern gets interesting. A massive ridge of high pressure that has been so stubborn out across the west this winter is finally shifting toward the Mississippi River Valley. That means record-breaking warmth is headed for the Central Plains by Monday afternoon. Lincoln, Nebraska, listen carefully. You could see temperatures in the mid-70s on Monday. That is not a typo. Mid-70s in early February. Omaha, same story. Kansas City and Topeka could shatter records. Des Moines is looking at 64 degrees. This is a temperature swing of more than 50 degrees compared to what New England is experiencing right now. This dramatic contrast between Arctic air in the east and record warmth in the plains is setting up what could become a major storm track as we head into late February. The next system developing out west could change everything. This is the forecast that demands the most attention. The Interstate 95 corridor from Boston through New York to Philadelphia is facing a dangerous combination of cold, wind, and lingering ice that the National Weather Service is calling life-threatening for vulnerable populations. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. This is a legitimate historic cold outbreak. Remember those 153 deaths we mentioned at the start? For the millions of people along this corridor, those numbers translate to a simple reality. The elderly, people without proper winter clothing, and anyone stuck outside too long face real health risks from a simple walk to the car. Even lower wind chills along the corridor are enough to make normal outdoor activity dangerous. Here is the important part. The next 24 hours are still critical for anyone who has to travel, works outdoors, or depends on electric heat in an older home. Boston, your wind chills will remain near -20 degrees Fahrenheit through Sunday night. Conditions begin to moderate Monday morning, but expect dangerous cold through your Monday morning commute around 7 to 9 a.m. New York City, you are in a unique position. Wind gusts near 40 miles per hour continue through Sunday evening. Your worst wind chills hit between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. Monday. After 10 a.m. Monday, slow improvement begins. Philadelphia, your window of most dangerous conditions is Sunday afternoon through early Monday morning. Wind chills near zero through the overnight hours. Some improvement by Monday afternoon. For those who have never experienced this kind of cold, here is what it feels like. You step outside and the wind cuts through your coat. Your face starts to sting within 30 seconds. If you are not covered, your skin can start to freeze within 15 to 20 minutes. This is reality for tens of millions of people along this corridor right now. These conditions come as communities are still digging out from Winter Storm Fern. In Nashville, officials have shifted into cleanup mode, recruiting volunteers to clear debris and lingering ice. Around Washington, D.C., piled-up snowbanks and dirty ice mounds still clog curbs and parking lots. Even the power grid is stressed. Solar farms in the east are still struggling from the cold and snow Fern delivered. If you are in the affected area, comment your location below. I am reading every single comment and responding with specific information for your area. Hundreds of people have already done this. Do not wait. For millions of residents along the Interstate 95 corridor, the question now is not whether conditions will be difficult. It is how difficult, and for how long. The good news is that forecasters expect this clipper to slide off the New England coast later today, and the steady snow will fade from west to east. But the cold and wind are not going away quickly. Looking ahead, the weather pattern across the United States is about to shift dramatically over the next 7 to 10 days. Out west, a significant storm system is developing right now. Oregon and Northern California are seeing substantial precipitation tonight. Much of it is rain at lower elevations, but the higher elevations are getting heavy snow. By Monday morning, snowfall will be residing across the northern Rockies. Montana, Idaho, portions of Wyoming will see significant accumulation. Several feet of snow are favored in the Sierra Mountains of California and the Northwest Rockies, especially central Idaho and western Montana. A secondary low will develop Tuesday and bring onshore flow to California. Coastal rainfall, possibly a minor flooding threat, with heavier downpours favored Tuesday into Wednesday. The Sierra Mountains will see substantial snow that moves inland to the Rockies by Wednesday afternoon. But here is what nobody else is telling you yet. Long-range models are showing potential for a major winter storm signal around Valentine's Day weekend, 7 to 8 days out. The European model is showing what could be a blizzard or major winter snowstorm across the Northeast. The ensemble guidance is quite bullish on snowfall for portions of the mid-Atlantic up into the Northeast, including the Interstate 95 corridor, Boston, New York City, down to D.C., and into the Appalachians. And it does not stop there. Looking into the third week of February, the 16th through the 23rd, a trough pattern developing out west could give us a major winter storm somewhere in the Midwest, Ohio Valley, or Northeast. Week 4. Going into late February and early March, an even bigger winter storm may be possible as the temperature gradient sharpens from Texas to the Ohio Valley. I will be monitoring closely and will have a full forecast update as models come into better agreement. With these forecasts in mind, here is what you need to know for travel and safety. This is not just about snow or cold. We are looking at dangerous wind chills, icy roads, power grid stress, and communities still recovering from $4 billion in damage from the last storm, all happening simultaneously. 4 threats at once. More than 10,000 flights were canceled during Winter Storm Fern. Highways remained shut down for days. If this pattern continues into Valentine's Day weekend as models suggest, travel disruptions could be even worse. If you must travel in the Northeast today, your window is late Monday afternoon at the earliest. After dark Sunday through early Monday morning, conditions are too dangerous for non-essential travel. Do not be that person stuck on Interstate 95 for hours in -20-degree wind chills. Prepare now. Not tomorrow morning. Now. If another major storm develops next weekend, stores will be packed. Shelves will be empty. Gas stations will have lines. Do it now while you still can. For those in the most affected areas, officials recommend checking on elderly neighbors, charging phones and backup batteries, keeping extra blankets and layers near the bed, and staying off the roads during bursts of heavy snow. These small decisions can make the difference between a close call and a real emergency. Beyond the immediate forecasts, meteorologists are watching something else developing. As the temperature contrast builds between cold air in the east and record warmth in the plains, a tight temperature gradient is likely to set up from Texas to the Ohio Valley. That will be the storm track as we go into late February. On the warm side of these systems, particularly in the lower Mississippi Valley, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, low country of South Carolina, and perhaps northern Florida along the Gulf Coast, we may have to watch for strong to severe weather around 7 to 8 days out. Here is the important part. As we move deeper into February and especially into the first half of March, snow chances will be decreasing further south, while severe weather chances begin to increase. We are entering the transition season. Winter is not finished with the northern tier, but spring storm season is already knocking on the door for the Gulf Coast. Some local meteorologists say this current clipper could be the last big cold punch of the season for the Northeast. But until the wind finally eases and the ice begins to melt, this winter pattern is not finished with the United States. Let us recap what we have covered. The Appalachians and West Virginia, near blizzard conditions with snow up to 9 inches and winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. New England, 2 to 6 inches of snow with wind chills near -30 degrees Fahrenheit. The Interstate 95 corridor, life-threatening cold for vulnerable populations through Monday morning. The Great Lakes, snow squalls and hazardous travel into Tuesday. Out west, Several feet of snow for the Sierra and Rockies with potential flooding in California. And looking ahead, potential major winter storm around Valentine's Day weekend and another significant system in late February. 153 people have already lost their lives to Winter Storm Fern, more than $4 billion in damage, over 1 million power outages at the peak. 12 states under active weather alerts right now. I will be tracking this minute by minute. If you want real-time updates, drop your location in the comments. Tell me where you are watching from. I will give you personalized forecasts as conditions develop. Hundreds of people are already doing this and getting critical updates. Share this video with everyone you know in the affected areas. They need to see this. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. I hope everyone stays safe. I hope I am wrong about how bad the next week could be. But I do not think I am. You have been warned. You have the information. What you do with it is up to you. Weather like this tests our communities, our preparedness, and our willingness to look out for each other. Small decisions matter. Checking on a neighbor, staying off a dangerous road, taking the cold seriously, even when the sun is shining. These are the choices that save lives. Tell us in the comments, how are you and your family getting through this stretch of winter weather? What are conditions like where you are right now?